Hello, this is Pieboy, and welcome back to the track. This is the race opener for the 13th season of the American PC Precision Racing League. I had an excellent 12th season where I ended up third in the Drivers' Championship, and MBR and I brought Haas up into second in the Constructors. This season, however, I have moved up to Red Bull to join Sucuri. We really get along well together and hope to win the championship this season. Our main rivals are Mercedes with Dark LOL and Jerome, and Ferrari with Tron and Iceman. The season could really come down to the wire. Iceman is missing this race, so Sucuri and I need to jump on this opportunity to get some good points. Some more introductory information. We race with no assists, use full damage, and strict corner cutting rules. We begin with a short qualifying and then have a 50% race. There are 20 races this season, so there could be a lot of ups and downs throughout this championship. With that, let's get on to my qualifying lap, and I'll describe it as a hot lap. So getting a good run through this final quarter is really important. I go into third gear and sometimes short shift up to fourth because you don't want to get any wheel spin. Brake right after the black box down to fourth or fifth, then accelerate through the corner. Once again, avoiding wheel spin. It's really easy to spin there. Brake at the 100-meter board down to fourth to third, then feather the throttle through here, then up through the gears. Again, avoiding wheel spin. You really need to get your line through there right. Brake right when the yellow starts on the left down to fourth gear. Up through the gears, up into the next corner, which can be really difficult. I brake at the 100-meter board, down to fourth, down to third. Again, avoid wheel spin out of that corner. Then up through the gears. Here you want to look for about the black box. You might have to shift down, you might only have to lift depending on what wings you're using. It's really important to get some speed through there. I lost about 3/10, so it wasn't my best. Brake at the 100-meter board again, down to fourth, down to third, to accelerate through here, down to fifth, sling it through here, up into sixth, brake where there's a break in the wall to your right, third gear around there, up into fourth, then accelerate DRS, and you have completed a lap at Melbourne. So this was an okay lap. It was enough to take 7th. So usually I aim for about 4th or 5th on the grid, so not my best, but I did use a compromise setup because look, starting the race and we are in the rain. The rain is going to be around the entire race. So I wanted to use a wet setup through qualifying so I'd be ready here. Now, going to the first corner, I brake a little too late, but so does everyone else. I'm off into the grass. Security gets through nicely. I go around everyone, and it's told me that I've had an illegal overtake on Cubs, so I lift off. But I went from 7th up to 4th, which is a good start. And even better, it's gotten rid of some of the big names in our league, including Dark and Tron. They've lost some places. So went a little wide there. I'm trying to figure out the rain. I did practice in the rain. But, oh, there goes Dead Zero. He's off the track. I'm up into third. I'm already in a podium position. Cub is new, so I don't know how he drives, whether he's really good in the rain or not. I'll just have to wait and see if I can keep up with him, see if I can overtake him. We'll get to see his abilities throughout this race. Looks like he struggled a little through that corner, but so did I. We're all really having to fight it with heavy fuel loads and not that much grip. He's gone wide again. I go up onto the inside. We're going side by side into the next corner. I drop down to fourth and I just slip right on by. So let's see if I can keep this position as we go on to this next lap. So I've gone from 7th up into 2nd, and Sucuri's in 1st. So Red Bull is running 1-2 right now. This is probably the best start to the Australian Grand Prix we could have had. We have no damage. We didn't make any collisions. We're still fighting the rain, but I usually have decent pace. I'm up into rich mix. Now one thing that I've done between seasons is I've remapped some of the buttons on my wheel. I'm using a G27, which only has 6 buttons on the wheel, and then all of your D-pad and everything else is on the shifter off to the side, so you have to let go of the steering wheel in order to make any changes to the fuel. So what I did was map 2 of the buttons to increase fuel and decrease. So I used lean mix through turns 3 and 4 up into standard, and then for this back straight and for the front straights I go up into rich mix. Looks like I'm starting to pull a little away from Cub. He's behind me by just a little bit. You still see the arrow showing up every once in a while, but I might take a look behind me, maybe not. So I go back down into standard here. It is nice to go into lean for some traction in the rain. Sucuri is starting to pull a little away from me, but we have similar pace in the rain. He was definitely much faster than me in the dry. We had a practice before and he was a full second a lap faster than me. So here's the end of the second lap, and Sucuri and I are still 1-2, and I am 1.7 seconds ahead of Cub, so pulling away nicely. And I get to have kind of a nice drive on my own for most of the race. So here I've skipped to lap 14. So the pit crew have come on saying pit this lap, but Sucuri's also said that he's pitting this lap. I'm 6 seconds behind him, so I could pit behind him and not lose any time, but maybe I shouldn't risk it. I'm debating about whether to do it. I probably should have hit the last lap so it wouldn't have been any trouble. And I've got to get a little more comfortable with this wet racetrack. I'm way ahead of, or dead zero has passed Cub, and I'm a good distance ahead of them. I've lost a few more seconds. Now my tires are pretty worn, but if I do go another lap, they're not going to blow up on me. And I don't find a huge difference in worn intermediates and dry. And well, I did just slide around that corner, so maybe not. And I just went deep there, so I probably should pit, but then it just says teammate is in the pits. So I decide, okay, I'll go one more lap. So I'm leading the race now. I just passed up Sucuri, who's in the pits. I'll pit this next lap. I've gotten a bit more comfortable with all the corners. I really try to keep to the mantra of slow in, fast out. That gives you a lot more control in the rain too. And if you throw it in too hard, then it could lead to a spin. It could lead to just losing time in general. So keeping a nice steady pace through every corner gives you a lot of pace and keeps you safe. So I'm only pushing at like 90%. There I had a little wheel spin, I had to catch it. I do feel like I've gotten better at catching those kind of wheel spins. So if you watched my Australia race of last season, I had 2 spins through the race even though it was on dry. So far I haven't spun at all. I don't know what the alternate strategy is. It's probably saying pit now instead of last lap. But I'm going to pit now no matter what. So I didn't want to use up any of my mental power to think about what strategy it was wanting me to go to. I braked a little early there. just to make sure that I didn't get a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So I might have lost a little time. And I didn't get going quite as quickly there as I probably should have. It's a little hard to see those Red Bull pit lights. So there goes Sucuri.
Pit strategy complete. See these tires through to the end now.
But I'm still way ahead of anyone in third. Throughout this race, you can see Sucuri just in the background. Now I'm paying attention to my race, so during the race I couldn't see Sucuri at all, but throughout this you'll see someone in the far distance turning,
with us for at least 20 minutes,
and
maybe more. Light rain is here to stay.
I'm pretty sure that's Sucuri, since I'm only like 6 seconds behind him. So there he is again. Maybe that's a back marker. That might be a little too close. Back into rich mix. I am finding that these tires are better than my worn tires. I do have a little more control. Not a ton, it's still raining, but I am going faster. I just set a purple sector. But since this was a lap I was coming out of the pits, I'm not going to improve my lap time. Yeah, that's a back marker I'm catching up to. I think it's Jerome. It looks like Mercedes. So Sucuri just put in the fastest lap on his new tires. So let's see what I can do this lap. Turned in a little early there, but avoided getting any corner cutting. Down to lean right here. Slow through that corner. Really careful through that corner. That's one of the most dangerous corners to me. Back up into standard. Catching up to Jerome, but I'm getting a bit of wash from his car too. So I did struggle around there more than usual.
Okay, the gap behind is 16.9 seconds.
So I have a good 16 seconds on dead zero, so I'm pretty far ahead. Another purple sector time. Had a good run through those corners. Back up into rich mix, down to standard. I keep in fourth gear through there, just for the traction. Oh, looks like someone went off there. And also looks like Cub is overtaking dead zero, maybe in the pits or something. Sucuri just put in another fastest lap. And I've responded with the fastest lap of my own. So we're just trading fastest laps. And he would have seen that and saw that I have decent pace again. So keeping him honest, making sure he doesn't let up. Let's see what I can do this lap. I find that I have to lift a little through there, where on the dry it's flat out. In the wet you have to lift to that corner. That's why I went wide that first lap. Another purple sector time. So you gotta be careful through that corner. If you go onto the curbs, you can really unsettle the car and you lose grip. So I try to stay on the tarmac. On the road. I think I watched a Wendover production video or something where they said that the tarmac isn't something that pilots actually use. It's just something the news uses to talk about runway. catching up to Babino. Getting a little bit of understeer from that, but I was also in a gear a little too high. Another fastest lap from Sucuri. He just took that away, and I just took it away from him again.
You first this lap for the race.
So Sucuri and I are just bouncing back fastest laps, which really bodes well for us. We're first, second, we're way ahead of Cub. Now Babino should have a blue flag. I'm getting a lot of understeer from his car, or I'm aware of it, so I'm taking it a little more carefully, just slowing me down a bit.
Vehicle is looking really good. You're managing it well.
And there he pulls over to let me by. It still put in another purple sector time, but I wasn't improving the rest of this lap nearly as well. So Sucuri and I are still 1-2. This is the 27th lap that I've skipped to. So I started noticing that my car was lighter. Oh, and I've really started to catch up to Sucuri. This is the second to last lap, and he's right there ahead of me. I'm like 2.5 seconds. I'm 40 seconds ahead of Cub, 45 seconds. So the car is lighter, so that I'm only going down to 6th gear here. Oh, I went to 5th. Oh, touched the grass. I just lost it. Now I had lapped. I think that was Drum who I had lapped, so I get turned back around fairly quickly. And
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
so I was within 2.5 seconds of Sucuri. I was catching up to him. And I was getting to the point that if he had had any penalties, I didn't have any penalties. If he had had any penalties, then I could have won the race. But I just had to spin on these slightly more worn intermediates on a lighter car that's reacting a little differently to how it was in the middle of the race.
Final lap of the race.
So I just have to hold it together through this lap, and I should come home in 2nd place. This will be a great result for Red Bull. We're starting the season 1-2 with Dark and Tron down the order. Like, that's really rare. Dark wins most races, and Tron gets a podium on most races. So, but neither of them on the podium. This is going to be a great start to our season. Went just a little deep there. Not driving quite as well as I was at the beginning of this race. This has been a pretty mentally intensive race. Trying to keep the car on the track, keeping it from spinning. So I did spin once, but I think a lot of the other guys spun more. Trying to be much more careful through there. That was a good job. So I'm still 33 seconds ahead of Cub. But he's getting a podium, so that's a decent start to his season. So I might be fighting him later in this season. We'll just see. There, Sucuri just finishes his race. He's won the race. Here I come up in 2nd. And listen to his reaction.
1-2, my man. 1-2.
So here we're on the podium. Usually I don't show the podium ceremony, but 2 Red Bulls up there together, 1-2. I just have to let you watch it.
First win, man. First win.
Nice win, Sucuri.
Nice job, man.
Thank you very much. What happened in turn 1, guys?
That's what happens when somebody presses start before you do the setups. So I had to go see who it was. So I had no time. I didn't play with my wings at all. So
So Dark.
Yeah, I didn't
no
change my
braking.
setup as well and lack of experience.
So Dark 5th, Tron 6th. I did lap Tron at one point in this race, which really surprised me. And here are the results. So you can see last season where I came in 3rd in the World Driver Championship, and we've started off this second season with a 2nd place finish and 43 points for Red Bull. That is a great start. We are a good 20-30 points ahead already of Mercedes and of Ferrari, so this bodes really well for our season. We will come back next week at China. Unfortunately, Sucuri is now going to miss the next 2 races, so it'll be up to me to bring home the points for Red Bull, and maybe Ferrari and Mercedes will have a chance to catch up. But let me know what you thought. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you back at the track next time. This is Bye Boy.